Hi, it's Coach Aaron with Athletic Power and Performance, and I want to talk about spinal restrictions and why I'm looking for these among other things in my assessment. So obviously in the sports field, you're going to have a lot of different movement, whether you're a twisting athlete such as a baseball player at the plate or a golfer, or maybe even lacrosse or soccer where you're having to shoot, so you're having to do twisting during those. Or if you're some other athletes such as wrestler or different things like that, spinal restrictions are a really big issue because what ends up happening is whatever the reason why your spine gets locked up or limited in its ability to rotate, other parts of your body actually have to overcompensate to take up the restriction in the body. So for instance, if you're a golfer and you're restricted somewhere in your spine, your shoulders, your hands, your wrists, even your ankles and feet may have to over rotate to compensate for that. That causes two things. So going with the golf analogy here, it's going to cause swing defaults. So you're going to have issues with accuracy hitting the ball. But the other thing that'll end up happening is because you have that restriction in your spine, what's going to happen is, again, like I mentioned, you're going to overcompensate either with the lower body or the upper body to get all the way through that swing. And when that happens enough times, you're eventually going to get some pain, some discomfort, and unfortunately at some point you may end up with a full-blown injury, and you'll often be diagnosed with some sort of, well, you have a wrist injury, so let's focus on the wrist, when all that actually comes back to the spine restriction. So this is the reason why I address the spine restriction by first finding out and assessing it, looking at why that factor is, why you have the spinal restriction, whether it's a muscular issue, whether it's actually a spinal issue, or it could actually be food you're eating that's causing intolerance in the core musculature, which binds up the spine. So there's a lot of different factors that I really delve in deep. So looking at these restrictions, I can then address those, and I can alleviate those spinal restrictions, and then you can prolong your competitive life and have fun in your sport.